Course, for the genius of the group on Breck Roll, Popeyes is going to have better French fries than Church's Chicken if he's doing Popeyes and Church's. I know he's comparing chicken places. Get a shot of a shopping basket turned over right over this way. I went with macadamia. Right here, macadamia. Hello! Hello, coconut, gotta go! They put something in my cookie. Believe in like stuff like the Force, you know, and Skywalker, you know, Star Wars. I believe in a little bit of that. I believe in. I don't disbelieve or believe in any of it really, but I think it's there for a reason. So I do believe in it. So certain things have come up in the script that I know that Hollywood or producers would want to talk about. The people have the big money, you know. Johnny Wentworth, he knows big people. He's worked with Francis Ford Coppola, all kinds of people. So I didn't put Kia down, you know, like Kia, because we used the Kia to get through the winter. I used the Kia and it did do well. I had to get another Kia though when I was up there. It was sliding around a little bit, and they gave me a one with a standard base. It was a Kia Rio, but it was a bit broader base, more winter. It's like a winter version of my summer Texas Rio. This is a Forte that I'm in now. So they might want to change the car. If they want to keep Kia, that's fine. They might want to change it to Honda or Hyundai or something like, I don't really know, Toyota or something. They may want to change the car for funding purposes because the car gets through the winter. That's a big deal in a movie. The car went through a whole winter in Maine. It's tons of snow. They have snow that piles up as tall as this wall right here. No joke. When you're driving around some roads, the snow will pile up that high. It really does. They're like wall mountains. And it destroys cars. It goes right through cars. After a few winters, you have to get a new car if you don't have the right one. They have winter cars up there. They make winter versions of the models. So we'll have to find out what car they want to use. And also the title. I'm thinking they might go with like Enter Maine or Maine Enter or Escape Maine rather than Escape from Maine. Something like that. They'll want to change stuff up. I've seen the Majestic. I was even in the Majestic, so I know how things are. Right, Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey would say, well, my name was Peter Appleton at the time. He played a character called Peter Appleton. He was the writer that has to change things for the producers. They want to add a dog instead of a cat. That would make me mad. It was a cat. His name was Romeo, the Mojo. I think he may have went by Rowdy in the script, but he could go by Romeo in the screenplay. I got to go through a whole lot, but you guys will know what gets to stay. And also read the book for avid readers. You know, they might like Please Subscribe Show. Avid readers, you know, like you go to Fiction Press, you put in my pen name, Ash Cole. So it's A-S-H or what's S? Let's see, A, let's see, yeah, A, and then S, H, Ash, and C-O-L-E, Ash Cole. So check it out for avid readers, you know, people that like to read. It's about 968 to 1,000 pages or so. I have a little bit of rewrites that I have on a computer. It was on a Dell. It's on a Dell Tower computer, the original. Then when I was in Maine, I transferred a lot of the data through using it's like a external drive. It's it's called a passport. It's an external drive. I also had at the time, I had a DVR burner that attached to the Dell Tower, and I could burn it. I could even burn DVRs, digital VDRs or CDs. I could burn the CDs, and I have copies of it on CD, my own CD. And then I have it stored online, and then I have a copy of it on the tower. I have a copy of it on the transferred it to the laptop. Pretty much the whole thing. Anyway, I think it's fine. My other novel, which I began working on the height of COVID in 2020, around that time, it's called Chin. That's a crazy novel. I've also got another crazy novel that I worked on. I gave to Annie in a pizza box. And I drew Johnny Depp on the front saying, "You stole my story." Or a character looked kind of like the neighbor that visits Johnny Depp. John Turturro's character is really what it was. I have kind of a version of both. Kind of put the little mustache on there. That one's called Untitled. That's a masterpiece. It's a really good story. It's about LA and Chicago and this guy traveling around. 3 different characters. One named Jay. One named Steve, what's his face. Jay becomes another character. He uses this thing called Myosin R. It's kind of got the whole feel of Brave New World and that kind of stuff. He warps into another character and wakes up in Chicago in this high sky rise, and he's kind of like, you know, like, where am I? You know, he crawls up in this crawl space and escapes this building, meets like this Billy Corgan character, and that character was, it was Jay, is it Jonah? And then Steve, what's his face? That's in the Untitled. That one's on there. Then there's a thief story about Roberto Pace. And then there's also The World of Documents, which is a pretty cool one too. That's along the collection. I got a big collection. Not all of it's on Fan Fiction or Fiction Press. Some are on Fan Fiction and some are on Fiction Press, both under the name of Ash Cole. I just put them on there on the online site. I usually say like Cole Spivey, aka Ash Cole, if I'm dealing with an Ash Cole series. Picking up some tobacco products at 7-Eleven, dropping them off at your doorstep. Well, we're not going to drop them off at your doorstep, but we're going to give them to you with the appropriate birth of date. I do not recommend. Yeah, that's what I'm dropping off. One, and then you've got this one, which has it's like kind of got like a lag in it. So if you move this like this, you can see that it kind of lags like that. I just, you know, it's like an effect thing. Going for 758. This guy's like, is this one reason why you filmed the monitor? And I was like, yeah, I do the Please Subscribe show, and it kind of shows delivery, and it's kind of a filler, you know, shows effect. Plus I come across a lot of those monitors. Everyone uses different monitors. And I noticed one of the other monitors was kind of like laggy, and he was just kind of talking about it. He said, yeah, that one's a little different than the other one and stuff like that. I gotta drop this. It's actually Smirnoff with a total of 276 right now on regular gas. All right, time to go in there and check some ID. Buckskin Run. Wonder which one you use. This one or that one? That one doesn't look like it's turned on. Let's see. roll away from pure Michigan. I said, there is no basement in the Alamo. Pee-wee, it's in the basement of the Alamo. There's no basement in the Alamo. Oh. One of my teachers worked with Paul Rubin. He said every day he used to show up as Pee Wee Herman. True story. All the way from Kentucky. Mira Vista. This is the higher end golf course community. They all live in $1 million homes. Done a few deliveries here. I love that Jordan the Lion vlog the other day. Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds! Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds, nerds, nerds. Love that stuff. Love it. That's so cool they're still around. I got to see Booger and the other dude, the main dude. Booger's funny. He's got his guitar, all this stuff. Jordan went out and got it. Jordan's truly gifted. He's truly gifted. It's a great, great vlog. And you mostly just have to give your name. Even they do. The Firefly coming through, most likely that's a ride share. But you have to give your name and then your business and the address you're going to. And they check it in. There's the golf course. We got it through the day. Usually we go through the night. Mira Vista. Getting all bagger vans. Another one I talked to, Will Smith, about bagger vans back in the day before all the drama. Well, he was doing drama. He was doing Ali, Muhammad Ali. He was playing Muhammad Ali when I met him at the Actor Studio, and I got to talk to him. I asked him about Robert Redford. I just was kind of curious because Robert Redford's been an actor for a long time, and I was just curious about how he approached it, and he just said that he used, well, I asked about Robert Redford's, any philosophy on bagger vans because of how philosophical the movie was. And yeah, it's true. It's true. Robert Redford was using these, philosophical statements when he did bagger vans. He told Will that he was just like a twig in the Nile. So he would say these things to the actors, give them words and direction, to make them feel small, to make him feel like a small servant, because that's what Will Smith was playing in Bagger Vance with Matt Damon. Pretty good movie, too. It's one of those kind of family movies, I guess you could say. Will Smith does a lot of theme-based movies that have a message. He's one of those. It's not just art. It's there's a message in there, too. So he does a lot of that kind of stuff. I guess that's kind of why he took, was it King George? I always say King George, King Richard. I think it was King Richard. Why he took it so far, it's because it had such a devout message. I think he just took it too serious and had to hit a friend. And we've all done it. We've all lost our crap, smacked somebody. Everybody's done it. They'll let him back in eventually. There was one black character that was in Escape from Maine. He was a young guy. He was kind of dorky. I'd play over there. He was kind of a skinny Spike Lee type. When Spike Lee was skinny, he would hang out at the parties. He was the only black guy in Maine that I met. It's pretty funny. I don't know if he'll make the cut to have that one Jim character. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. There's only at one of the parties. You might have to put in a note card. Black Jim character. We'll have to see. I I did try to get a hold of the Spike Lee one time. Which one's better? They're both epic. Yeah, we went to a party in Maine, and I think I had like one of those Beck's beers. There was a photographer at the party. Ended up getting on my Facebook, and I asked him to remove the photo because I didn't want to advertise me being a beer drinker, which I'm really not. I was just kind of joining in at the party, but yeah, there was this kind of like skinny, dorky black guy. The only black guy at the party. He hung out with the players at the Center Theater. I only saw him at the party. There really wasn't a whole big black crowd. It gets really cold up there, and it's real country. But he was there, just kind of hanging out, smiling, talking, you know, just hanging around and just talking to everybody. Everybody just, you know, treated him as if normal, you know. It's just, there is an Asian community. There's an Asian community that goes in through FA, Foxcroft Academy. They call it FAA, Foxcroft Academy, or FCA. The big Chinese influx to Dover Foxcroft from China. When they go and they study there, it's a lot of snow around, so they have Chinese food there. It is a multicultural thing. There's Jewish people up there from coming out of New York. I know Bert Chavez was. And believe it or not, they have a kind of from the census, there are not a lot of religious people up there. And I found that it's like a mix mosh of different religions all in one area. Everything from Pentecostal, Catholic, to Baptist, to, you know, non-denominational. There is even some Scientologists. I even ran across a Scientologist on the bank or on the belt, but he didn't really know about Scientology. He didn't even know how to say Scientologist. Really, he was. I was asking him, you know, like, you know, what church he went to or what he believed in, and he was trying to explain like science and Christianity kind of thing. And I thought maybe he was saying Christian Science, or, you know, Christian Science are very different. And then he finally mentioned Scientology, and I was like, oh, okay, have you heard of it? You know what it is? And he didn't know anything about Ron L. Hubbard and all of that stuff, you know, but he knew a little bit. He had heard a little bit about it. And then there was some brochures at a laundromat that was talking about Scientology in this weird way, you know. And I've talked to a Scientologist through rideshare. I picked up one, and they believe, or this particular Scientologist did not call it a church per se. They said it's more like a self-help group, and that there's all different types of religions in Scientology, even though Scientology in the media has gotten like a horrible name. You know, that they're real radical and everything. It's kind of why I wanted to use Tom Cruise. And there's a lot of fear that was brought in among the Scientology church, just like in McCarthyism and all kinds of stuff. Just fear. They're not like that at all. The lady I talked to that went to the Scientologist church, she said, yeah, there's Christians there, all kinds of people. It's only a self-help thing. You go there to work on self-improvement. You improve yourself. And so I mentioned all the Scientology, like, fiction and all that stuff, you know, about all the aliens and the purification of the water, and they're like, no, that's not in it. She's like, no, that's not what we practice at all. And you know, that there's something where they put their hands on this thing and they measure some kind of energy level. Nope, none of that's in there. That's all false. It's not true. So I don't know, if we get Tom Cruise to play the stepdad, he'd be able to tell me about the truth of it, about the real thing, about why they're under scrutiny. This right here is Brian Irving. That's Arbor Lawn. Right there is a graveyard. On the other side of that is Whole Foods, Yogurt Land, a workout center, a place to work out, some Chinese food restaurants, or a place called Payway. It's called Waterside. They have Clear Optical an Italian kitchen, a place called Ree, which is a co-op for outdoors, and that's the little graveyard. It's just kind of, they couldn't move it. It's right next to the payway. And there's the Whole Foods. Bunch of little businesses right there at Waterside. There's the Trinity River runs right behind it. We'll actually pass the Trinity River here in a minute. There's some soccer fields. I know you've seen those. Maybe a couple vlogs. That's where the soccer fields begin right there. A series of soccer fields, and then we'll go right into right over the Trinity. Might be better to show it this way. That's the Trinity. I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.